There's a hidden opportunity currently that is emerging in terms of how to have a positive impact through your work. And that's because there's a fundamental shift occurring. In the past, I found that when people were looking for more fulfillment and meaning, they would start to, especially if they were in the corporate environment, they would start thinking that they would have to join an NGO in order to do that, or maybe set up their own business and get more fulfillment. But for a very long time, there's been this split between ultimately making money and doing good. And what I see is that it's the end of that system. We're looking at a reworking, rethinking of the role of business that goes beyond just serving the interests of shareholders and starts to look at how does business serve the interests of the world at large. We're having a new generation in terms of whether millennials or Gen Z or even younger that are emerging. I was reading some stats recently that was saying that in terms of the new generation that's really coming, so 18 to maybe 22-year-olds, that kind of generation, what we're looking at is extremely high percentages of eco-anxiety. I was looking at figures of around 75%. That's a new generation. A generation that is encountering mental harm because of what it sees is happening in the world. And these are businesses as upcoming customers, they're our talent. And I would say it's about time. So what we are really at is a threshold moment where we can start to make money and do good. They never had to be separate. I'm not quite sure who decided they should be. It's going to be about how to be more responsible about not only how we build our supply chain, how we produce, but also what we produce, and looking at our needs as human beings in a different way, to make sure that what we're actually producing, what we're actually contributing, is helping us build something that's much more sustainable, regenerative, but also enables us all to truly flourish. So we are at that threshold of that new world. And there is this amazing opportunity. And in that moment of looking at it through a new lens, the question for each one of us is, how can we start to evolve our work to reflect that? And often, we look at work as a tick in the box, like a box that we need to find, like the perfect role in the perfect place. But what I invite you to is to start thinking that actually it's a reworking of how we look at work that's happening. That means that maybe that box you're looking for doesn't exist yet. But what it does mean is that maybe you can create it. Because the world that is now emerging and that we're being called to build is different from the world that we have left or that we are leaving behind. And just notice the word that we are building. So it's about building new roles, having conversations internally to look at how we can tie our work to that bigger impact in the world. And that's an inquiry that is available for all of us. And yes, it might mean at some point you still need to change and go somewhere else. But in my experience, we can do quite a lot where we are often. And sometimes we miss that. So how can you not just make money, but also do good through your work?